Okay, next we're going to talk a little bit about proportions and things. I have kind of moved ahead a little bit from where we left off before. You can still see that's the same armature map that I was talking about earlier, and the same armature that I had created and preloaded with the epoxy putty for sculpting. And again, that makes it fills out some of the bulk, but it also makes the armature very solid so that I can pose it. And I mentioned earlier that I needed to shorten the neck, which I have done. Shortened it up just a little bit. The brass hollow portion, the brass tubing, has been shortened by about 1/8 of an inch or so. And now I have skipped ahead and started forming just the foundation of the head and the facial features, as you can see there. Now, the head's still removable, which probably looks kind of weird to you here on the video, but the object of this is to show you that the proportions are staying true. If you can see the armature map here, the chin is right about there, and if I square the shoulders to the armature map, the chin lines up just right. And now it's squared over the sort of brass spine, so to speak, and the size of the head is pretty close to this armature map, as you can see there. So, work progresses. And I'm going to set that aside for just a moment, because this particular guy is going to be in a pose something like this. Move this around a little bit so you get an idea where I'm going. And this is also an excellent way to make yourself your own little mannequin. And it may not last forever because that aluminum wire will eventually start breaking. But for temporary purposes, it can be very, very useful. So this guy's going to be sitting on this stool, kind of like this. And this actually does balance on here. I tested it before. And the reason that the feet look inordinately small is because I'm going to build the shoes on top of that, and I wanted that small to have kind of an armature for that. And if you can see where this is going, this is actually sort of a makeshift wooden sculptor's stand, sort of, out of balsa wood and various craft woods. And then I talked a little bit earlier about this copper rod or flexible copper material that makes some pretty good armature material. You may want to get something. It was something that was bought that I had on hand, and copper may be a little more expensive now than it was then. But there's other materials you could use. A coat hanger, a lot of things that are pretty readily on hand that just can be flexed. And what I did is, and I should have gotten this on film, but I missed it. But took some needle nose pliers and I curled this into a curlicue, and then I bulked it up a little bit with foil, and then covered it, like I mentioned earlier, with the floral tape, because the clay sticks to that easier than it does just plain foil. And then what this will do is it will become part of the sculptor's stand, which is the holes are going to be covered up, and this guy is making a sculpture. Now a little bit later on, I'm going to be cutting this off, probably put a piece of tubing on the end of the arm here so that I can make the hands separately and apply them on there, and then put clay over that, because that sometimes is a little bit easier. But these loops kind of help me position and flex and mold the figure into the position that I want. But at this point, you know, I can turn the head, I can bend the body, there's going to be a little bit of flexibility in the neck. I don't want to push that too far right now because the clay is soft, but because of the copper wire that's in here, there's a little bit of flexibility to the head here. Not that brass wire, but and then he can bend here and so on. As you can see, the bendable areas make it more natural. Now, Okay, skipped ahead just a little bit, and I made a switch. The regular white Sculpey seemed very mushy, and while it even sat before it was baked, it was starting to crack, and I just didn't want to take any chances with that being brittle and this being a special sculpture. So I have switched to my my bulking clay for the inner part of the body under the clothing to Super Sculpey, which you see in the background. And also I have painted and varnished my two little pieces of furniture, the sculpture stand and the stool. And so now I'm going to continue to bulk out the body that you see here. And again, skipping the joints so I can still flex it. And this epoxy putty, the brand name is Epoxy by Aves, is working out just excellent. It just makes a good solid handhold while I'm doing this work, and I'm able to, with the aluminum wire, I'm able to continue to bend that while I'm bulking out the sculpture and making the other parts get everything out of the way, so it's just a whole lot easier to work with. And I think I'm really liking this epoxy putty.